Coming up on UMTV News, a plane crash at a busy New York airport has left 2 people dead. We will tell you what happened.
Plus, the worst floods in Hawaii in 2 decades have damaged hundreds of homes and forced evacuations.
And later on, we'll introduce you to one Miami organization that's letting people sing in a choir. No experience needed.
All these stories and more on UMTV News, and it starts right now. Hello and welcome to this edition of UMTV News. I'm Gavin Bishow.
And I'm Addison Block. Thank you for joining us. 2 people have died and dozens were injured when an Air Canada plane collided with a fire truck in a high-speed runway collision at LaGuardia Airport in New York on Sunday. The accident was captured on CCTV video as the plane collided headfirst into a fire truck crossing its path. The 2 pilots of the plane died. Authorities said dozens of passengers and crew members on the regional jet from Montreal and 2 people from the fire truck were taken to hospitals, some with serious injuries.
I want New Yorkers to know that the National Transportation Safety Board is investigating the cause of this accident and that we will not rest until the conclusion of that investigation. We have been coordinating closely with our partners across government since late last night, and we will continue to do so.
Fatal accident at New York LaGuardia's airport marked 34 years to the day of the last deadly accident. At the airport in 1992, 27 people died when a plane crashed during takeoff.
President Trump has sent ICE agents to multiple U.S. airports on Monday to assist Transportation Security Administration. As the partial government shutdown, which began on January 31st, continues, TSA workers go another week without pay. ICE agents were sent to the most overcrowded airports in the U.S., including O'Hare International in Chicago, JFK Airport in New York City, and here at Miami International Airport. The agents weren't trained by TSA to work airport security, but are standing armed at exits and entrances and are trained to control crowds, monitor lines, and check airport IDs.
It sounds like the more and more R's are saying that they want to take yes for an answer, and we've been trying for weeks to fund the non-ICE agencies, and I'm hoping that there may now be some momentum to do that.
This initiative comes as the Senate officially confirmed Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin as the head of Department of Homeland Security Monday afternoon, replacing Kristi Noem.
The war in Iran has now made its way into Lebanon as U.S. and Israeli forces begin a retaliation campaign on the terrorist group Hezbollah. 24 days after a surprise attack by U.S. and Israel, the Strait of Hormuz remains threatened, which is impacting oil prices and import prices worldwide. Active missile exchanges are still continuing daily in Israel and Iran, but President Trump is pushing for the peace in the region.
They want peace. They've agreed they will not have a nuclear weapon, et cetera, but we'll see. You have to get it done.
Gas prices to rise in the last 24 days since the war began, but prices started to slide once Trump announced his aim to stop the war. The average price for a gallon of gas in the U.S. is currently $3.96, the highest total since September of 2023.
Cleanup from massive flooding continues in parts of Hawaii. 2 strong storms dumped more than 40 inches of water on the Hawaiian Islands. No one has been reported killed, but the floods have impacted the islands of Maui and Oahu the most, leaving hundreds of people not only without power, but without a place to call home. Although construction pricing has not been confirmed fully, the estimated repairs cost could be over $1 billion.
It's definitely going to be over $1 billion in our estimation. We lost a whole hospital on Maui. We also have had incredible road damages on Oahu. The airports have sustained over $100 million of damage in the infrastructure space. And then the houses. There's so many houses that have been flooded, some houses fully washed away.
Communities all across the island of Maui came together back in 2023 to support one another after the wildfires that caused significant damage and nearly $20 billion in rebuild costs.
And these floods in Hawaii have affected not only residents, but also their pets. Friday's flooding on Oahu's North Shore stranded people and pets, but thankfully Lucky the dog was saved. Chris Casey, an animal protection officer with the Hawaiian Humane Society, is one of many helping rescue and feed in the floodwaters.
You know, it was definitely intense being in waist deep water, but just, my main concern is that we were able to at least distribute food or any kind of care, any services that animals needed. Field 5 to dispatch.
On Monday, it's his 7th straight day of work, and he's with Josh Carey, the American Humane Society's National Director for Rescue. In the muddy agricultural fields of Mokuleua,
Here's some dried food.
the team found a farm worker whose dog needed food. But then the Humane Society's vehicle got stuck in the mud. The team needed help themselves, so a group of farm workers pushed them out. Casey and Carrie go in to pull out the puppies, and the farm worker is full of gratitude.
I feel so good, especially if you're rescuing these cute little babies right here. Just brings joy to my heart.
This is the goal, is to be able to help the community and the animals. It just shows the community, they come together for each other no matter what.
Give them some treats.
It's all in a day's work, and then it's back out to save and feed more furry friends. This marks at least 7 straight days of rescue efforts as teams continue searching areas for animals in need. The first responders ended up saving 4 puppies.
If you passed by Lakeside Patio on the Coral Gables campus last week, you may have seen a guy sitting in a rocking chair. But this wasn't just someone relaxing between classes, it was a movement to help save lives. Jimena Hidalgo joins us live from campus with the story. Jimena?
What looked like a simple scene on campus was actually something much bigger. Lorenzo Cavallino had to miss 3 days of his engineering classes to sit in a rocking chair for an organization called Gift of Life Marrow Registry, a cause that has touched the lives of more than one of his fraternity brothers. Lorenzo Cavallino lounges on a rocking chair at Lakeside Patio. Looking at him, you'd have no idea he's been sitting there for 3 days. Not as a dare, not as a stunt, but to help save lives.
Donate some money if you hate blood cancer.
The event is called Rockathon, organized by the University of Miami's Alpha Epsilon Pi fraternity to raise money for the Gift of Life Marrow Registry. But for Lorenzo and his fraternity brothers, this cause is personal.
And my grandfather had actually passed away from blood cancer years prior, and if an organization like this had existed, it could have, potentially saved his life.
Chris sat for 55 hours during UM's first Rockathon last year and inspired his close friend Lorenzo to take the chair this year. But the rockers aren't the only ones with a personal connection to the cause.
My mom had Hodgkin's lymphoma twice. And so once when I was a baby, once when I was in 6th grade, and required a stem cell transplant in order to be alive today, which she is.
Gift of Life connects donors with patients like Jimmy's mom, battling blood cancer who need a transplant to survive. And the need is urgent. Only 30% of patients find a match within their own family. Around 18,000 Americans each year may require a bone marrow or stem cell transplant. All it takes to join the registry is a simple cheek swab. Each swab kit costs $60, funded by events like this.
They raised a lot of money and in turn, added thousands of kits into the registry, and thus far has already created 6 different matches and 1 life-saving transplant.
56 hours in one chair would be a challenge for anyone, but for Lorenzo, he was never alone.
It was a great event. Just the guys around me really make this whole thing happen, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here in this chair.
We did a big sign-up sheet for, first dibs on who gets to do what. Immediately, all the overnight slots filled up right away, which is awesome to see because everyone wanted to spend the night at the stage on Lakeside Patio with Lorenzo.
3 days in a chair for the chance to give someone else a lifetime to stand. This year's Rockathon raised over $69,000, beating out their $60,000 goal. They collected over 1,300 swabs and now have 3 patient donor matches. If you would still like to donate, you can visit the link on their Instagram, which is at AEPI Miami. For UMTV, I'm Jimena Hidalgo.
We will take a short break now, but coming up, we will visit one South Florida group that brings inclusivity through singing. Plus, a boxing gym in Miami Beach is helping take a punch at bullying. All this and more when UMTV News returns. Don't go anywhere.
You thinking about retirement?
Of course I've thought about it, but there's all this stuff in the way.
Oh, you're not kidding.
The house, the kids are going to college.
A new
Inclusivity. Well, I can't say it.
Oh, hey, you should meet my friend
I said
Avo. Avo's a retirement coach.
Yeah.
He'll help get you started.
But what does Avo tell you to do?
You don't know? Focus on your future. Your goals can still be met.
But how?
Target your tomorrow.
Really?
And use the Avo bet.
You sing?
Not really. A is for taking action.
Who am I talking
Start
to?
off with a plan.
You built these letters?
Yep. V is for variety. There's so many ways you can.
I follow you.
Come on. O's for optimize your savings.
Let Avo lead the way.
Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
Nice sign.
Thanks, I made it myself.
Cool.
For many people, singing in front of others can feel intimidating, even out of reach. But as some adults look for connection and community, one Miami choir is changing who gets to participate. Layla Pettis joins us now live with more details. Layla?
Many people are scared of singing in public. It's a fear that usually starts very early on and never really goes away. And for one Miami resident, that fear followed him all the way from France until he found a space where perfection isn't required. It doesn't start perfect, and for many here, that's the point.
I was a little scared because it was the first time.
When David Tessier moved from France to Miami, he was starting over. New country, new city, new language, and no experience singing.
Before I start, I was feeling that, can I do it?
For many adults, music doesn't feel accessible. Lessons can be expensive, traditional choirs require auditions, and for those without any experience, just walking into a space like this can feel intimidating. That's where Miami Sound Choir comes in. No auditions and no experience required.
So when we open the doors to as many people as possible, make it as accessible as possible, we all benefit.
The choir started in 2019 with just 35 singers. Today it's grown to more than 150 members, ranging from people in their 20s to their 80s, and about half have never sung before.
There's some really cool older women in the choir, and it's like, when I grow up, I get to be you.
It's what some call an intergenerational space, where people who might never cross paths find common ground through music. For David, what started as fear became a way to build confidence, friendships, and navigate life in a new country.
And he's learned the English language. He's learning to master that language because he gets to practice singing in that language every week.
Now I am more confident. I am happy because I'm gonna sing with my friend.
In a city where many people are looking for connection, spaces like this offer more than just music. They offer a place to be heard. The choir performs regularly around Miami, and if you want to see David and the rest of the choir perform, you can catch them May 21st on Thursday at the Miami Beach Bandshell. Tickets are free and completely open to the public. You can find them at miamibeachbandshell.com. Reporting live, Layla Pettis, UMTV.
Thanks, Layla. And speaking of music, for 1 week, Miami takes the electronic dance music world by storm. Miami Music Week kicks off tonight across the 305, and this weekend, thousands of EDM fans will flock to Bayside Park for the Ultra Music Festival. Ultra is one of the world's most popular EDM festivals. The three-day event, spanning from Friday through Sunday, is in its 26th year and attracts more than 100,000 adults of all ages, including college students right here at the U. And students at Miami are making sure they are ready for the weekend.
Everyone's just enjoying the music and stuff, and there's no age limit on that, and I really appreciate that about Miami. It's not judgmental, and we're just there for good times. Make sure you have water, and make sure you have like a online credit card or something if you need to buy food or something. That would be helpful.
University is also taking steps to make sure students are staying safe over the weekend. On March 4th, Dean of Student Affairs, Dr. Pat Whiteley, sent a letter to students about the importance of safety, including an emphasis on positive decision-making related to alcohol and other drugs. This comes a decade since the tragic death of UM student Adam Levine, who passed away at the age of 21 from an overdose at the 2016 Ultra Music Festival.
NHL reporter and podcast host Jessie Pierce and her three children have been killed in a house fire Saturday morning. Investigators are working to determine the cause of the fire, which happened in White Bear Lake, a city northeast of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Neighbors say they saw flames shooting through the roof of the house, and when firefighters arrived, the house was fully engulfed in flames. A dog inside the home also died.
She really knew her stuff. She was really passionate about the NHL. This just breaks my heart, but I said to her one time, how cool is it going to be for your son when he's a teenager to show his friends those pictures of these wild legends that he got to meet when he was 6 months old?
Wrote for NHL.com and co-hosted the Bar Down Beauties hockey podcast. She was just 37 years old.
For some teams, sports can change more than just their skills, but their lives, turning challenges into discipline and adversity into opportunity. Dylan Davis joins us live with more details. Dylan?
Gavin, I had a chance to head to 5th Street Boxing Gym in Miami Beach to see all of the ins and outs that boxing really has, and why research is saying boxing is improving the mental health of young adults and people alike. Take a look. At 5th Street Gym in Miami Beach, the legends may be on the walls, but the real story is happening right now, inside the ring. Across the country, more and more people are turning to sports like boxing, not just for competition, but for discipline, structure, and confidence. For 16-year-old Anthony Achaval, boxing is about more than competition. It's about turning adversity into purpose.
I grew up in a really rough neighborhood, and I got bullied a lot based off of my skin color and things like that. And it was just me and my mom. It's always just been us two against everybody else. So one day I got jumped and she said, you know what, I've had enough of this. Took me and got me signed up for boxing. I fell in love with it.
What started as a way to defend himself became something much bigger.
It's helped me a lot in many different ways, whether it be discipline or having confidence in social public spaces. Anything that has to do with my anxiety is completely gone. It gives you so much more discipline.
And for some teens, that kind of structure can make a difference far beyond the ring. Research from the National Institutes of Health shows participation in youth sports can support mental health and emotional development in young people. And Anthony is learning those lessons inside a gym with deep roots in Miami's boxing history, where Muhammad Ali once trained and where that legacy continues on today.
The walls and the floors and the equipment don't make the gym, the people make the gym.
Owners here say their focus goes far beyond training. For Anthony, that environment is what keeps him coming back. Now, he's training for the Florida State Golden Gloves, one of the biggest steps for amateur boxers. But for Anthony, the biggest fight isn't just in the ring.
Every time I want to quit, I just think about all the people that I have, and I'm not going to let them down.
And while the training happens inside these walls, the impact can last far beyond them. 16-year-old Anthony, this is only the beginning to his boxing journey as he continues to compete and prepare for the Florida State Golden Gloves in the coming weeks. He's not only training for that, but he's also inspiring the youth in Miami. Reporting live, Dylan Davis, UMTV.
Thanks, Dylan. As March Madness brings basketball fans to the edge of their seats, another basketball tournament is tipping off, showcasing just as much intensity as heat. The National Wheelchair Basketball Association Championships kicked off this weekend in Louisiana. The West Monroe Sports and Events Complex saw a packed house Saturday afternoon. Players hit the court using the same rules and bringing the same energy you're used to seeing from regular basketball games. While keeping the intensity as high as ever, the championships look to continue to add on to the madness throughout the month of March.
I mean, Addie, I love basketball, especially in the month of March. Anything I can add to my docket, I'll take it.
Yeah, I get that.
Well, that's all the time we have for this week's edition of UMTV News. Thank you so much for joining us.
We'll see you next time, same time next week. Have a great night.